All right, today we're going to start our new unit on the sun, earth, and moon. In this unit, we're going to be learning about moon phases, solar and lunar eclipses, and seasons. We're going to start with our vocabulary, so make sure this is glued into your correct page and make sure this is listed in your table of contents. You'll need your pencil because we'll write some notes, and you'll need something to highlight with. If you want to highlight by underlining with your pencil, that's okay too. So number one, our moon. The moon is a natural satellite. It revolves around Earth. Now it's important to know that the moon does not produce light energy. The moon does not make its own light. Anytime we see the moon shining, what we call moonlight is actually just reflected sunlight. So, important thing to remember here is that the moon revolves around Earth and that the moon does not produce light energy. All right, two important things. The moon revolves around Earth and the moon does not produce its own light. Everything that we call moonlight is actually reflected sunlight. All right, our lunar cycle is how long it takes the moon to go through all 8 moon phases. So we'll talk more about lunar cycle as we go down, but the lunar cycle is when the moon completely revolves around the Earth. It takes 29 days or 4 weeks to complete. So similar to how the Earth revolves around the sun, okay, so Earth is revolving around the sun, while Earth is revolving around the sun, the moon right here is revolving around Earth as well. So the moon revolves around Earth while the Earth revolves around the sun. It takes 29 days or 4 weeks for the moon to complete one orbit or one revolution around the Earth. So we want to highlight a lunar cycle is when the moon completely revolves around Earth, and it takes 29 days or 4 weeks. Now, let's talk about actual moon phases. There are 8 phases of the moon, and each phase describes the lit portion of the moon. On our next page, we're going to actually look at what all 8 phases are, and we'll be looking at the different lit portions of each of these 8 moon phases. So this is all we need to highlight, all the information we need for moon phases for now. Just need to know that there's 8 moon phases, and that each phase, the name of each phase is describing the lit portion of the moon, or the part of the moon that is in light. All right, moving down, we have 4 and 5. Now we want to draw a bracket around 4 and 5 because these two words go together. They are very related, but they're also opposites. So waxing phases are when the lit portion of the moon is increasing. When the lit portion of the moon is increasing, it makes it look like the light of the moon is growing. Waning is the exact opposite. Waning is when the lit portion of the moon is decreasing, and it makes it look like the light is shrinking. Now we're going to add a couple notes right here. We're going to say light on the right equals waxing. All right, so anytime that the moon is lit on the right side, we're going to know that that is waxing phases. So if waxing is when the moon is lit on the right, then waning is the exact opposite. Waning is when the moon is lit on the what side? Waxing is lit on the right. Waning is the opposite. So waning is lit on the opposite of this, which would be the left. All right. Now let's talk about eclipses. We're going to talk about a lunar and a solar eclipse. We're going to highlight some information, and then I have 2 cheat codes that you can put in here that will help you remember the correct information about a lunar eclipse, and then we'll have another cheat code to help you remember the information about a solar eclipse. Now, a lunar eclipse is when Earth gets between the sun and moon, and it causes a shadow to be casted on the moon. So a lunar eclipse is when Earth gets between the sun and moon. A solar eclipse is similar, but a little bit different. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon gets between the sun and Earth. And what that does is it blocks out all or part of the sun from where we're standing on Earth. Now, let's put a bracket around these two as well, because lunar and solar eclipses are also related. And we're going to add a short sentence right here that I want you to write down. And this sentence is going to be a cheat code. Okay, so write this sentence just like I am. We're going to say, lazy Susie eats McDonald's. All right, and down here for solar eclipse, it's going to be another sentence. This time we're going to say, smart Susie makes eggs. Now, we have lazy Susie eats McDonald's. Smart Susie makes eggs. Why is eating McDonald's considered going to make Susie lazy? And why is making eggs going to make Susie smart? Well, if Susie makes eggs, that's a smart choice because eggs are healthy and it's a lot cheaper to cook at home. So Susie is being smart when she makes eggs. So smart Susie makes eggs. Underline that first letter of each word. Now, this sentence is not actually telling us about a girl named Susie and what she likes to eat. This sentence is actually a secret code that you can use to remember the correct order of the sun, earth, and moon during a solar eclipse. So this first S stands for solar. So we're going to spell solar vertically down. So smart, the S in smart stands for solar. And the first letter in each of these words represents either the moon, the earth, or the sun, and it tells you the order they have to be in for a solar eclipse to occur. So this S, would it stand for earth, sun, or moon? It's an S, it obviously stands for sun. The M stands for moon, and the E stands for earth. So what this whole thing means, smart Susie makes eggs, it means for a solar eclipse, the sun is first, the moon is in the middle, and the earth is at the end, and they form a straight line. So for a solar eclipse, the sun, moon, and earth must be in a straight line with the moon in the middle. That is the only time a solar eclipse can occur. Now let's apply that same information up to our lunar eclipse. The S in SMART stands for solar, so the L in lazy stands for lunar. For a lunar eclipse to occur, this comes first. This S represents the sun. Then after the sun, we have E, which is going to be Earth. And at the end of our row, at the end of these, we have M, which is for moon. So for this sentence, lazy Susie eats McDonald's, it is another code, another cheat code telling us that the L in lazy stands for lunar. So for a lunar eclipse, the order must be sun, Earth in the middle, and moon on the end. So for a lunar eclipse, sun, Earth, and moon must form a straight line with Earth in the middle. For a solar eclipse, the sun, moon, and Earth also form a straight line, but this time the moon is in the middle. So smart Susie makes eggs, solar, sun, moon, Earth. Lazy Susie eats McDonald's, lunar eclipse, sun, Earth, moon. The other mnemonic device you'll need, so this is, we'll put a star by this, because that's a cheat code you'll be able to use on your test. Put a star by this one, because that's a cheat code you can use on your test. And we'll use this one up here, light on the right equals waxing. Put a star by that one, because you can also use this on your test. All right, that is all of our vocabulary words for this unit. The next page we're going to turn here, and this will be phases of the moon for your next video.